How long did it take you to establish your aquarist business? From the time I took it seriously.
Well, hello. Jump right on in. You're at Father Fish.
From the time I took it seriously. I was selling wholesale to pet shops when I was a teenager, but it was a hit or miss kind of thing. It wasn't something I was doing to support myself. When I was in graduate school in Boston, I was raising guppies and selling them. Again, it was not enough to really be able to support me. After that, I was busy doing other things until I got to Florida in the 90s. By the year 1998 or so, I got on Aquabid, and that was when I started actually supporting myself selling online on Aquabid. I was making about $1,000 a week gross. My net was about 600 plus. I would go up to the wholesaler with Segrest at the time, and I would paw through thousands of bettas and pull out the nicest ones. Now, this is when bettas were $1.25 a piece. So I would find the best ones. I would put them on Aquabid with a minimum bid of $15. We give them a name like Flying Firebird or American Eagle or some other fancy name. I would do a picture of them. Actually, I did it with a camera that I could pull frames off of, and I would pull just the right frame. So it was pretty involved. It was full time. And not only did I have to do all of that, which was hard enough, and then keep them alive and healthy and keep them separate and keep them in order so I could get back to them. I put numbers on their container, and the number showed up on the picture. So that's how I linked them. And then, of course, I had to ship them out. But the real time consuming part of it was talking to people who were bidding. And that was hours every day. So I did that for 3 or 4 years. Then got into repping for some fish farms, selling to fish stores. I did that for 4 or 5 years. In the meantime, I also had a couple of jobs. I worked at Moat Marine for a while doing grants writing, so I was around fish a lot. I started collecting pygmy seahorses, starfish, shrimp, little crabs, things that could be sold into the hobby. I did wholesale and retail. And then eventually decided to give it all up because I realized I could make a really good living as a copywriter. Copywriter is a person who writes for businesses. They write formal letters, they write catalogs, they write promotional material, they write letters for all of the different things that a business needs written letters, not contracts, but descriptive stuff. I had a friend who was doing it. He was setting me up in the business. I bought all of the literature, spent about $500 on a cheat book that had almost all of it already written. That just needed to be adapted, and was looking for my first contract. I got a call from some friends in town. This was in Venice, Florida, who had a little pet shop, and they wanted to get rid of the fish department. It was separated out in one bay. They had rented 3 bays in a little strip mall. They asked me if I wanted it. I said, no, I'm already busy doing something. They said, look, we'll give it to you for just next to nothing. And I thought about it. My mother's mother, my Aunt Dorothy, had always said to me, I really could see you running a fish shop. And it was kind of something I always wanted to do. So I figured, I can always do this copyright thing. Let me take a year. I'll do the fish store for 1 year and get it out of my system. So I bought it for, I think I paid $1,000. which I paid him off over a period of a couple of months. So it was not hurtful. And then within a couple of months, a guy walked in who wanted to finance my business to move into a bigger location. So I decided, what the heck, I'll do that. I had another friend who was a landlord who had a lot of property. He offered me this magnificent building at a really cut rate. So I did that, took the funding to move into it. That gave me the money to be able to build out the shop. Before I knew it, I was 10 years in. And I had developed a lot of things and really gotten the natural tank nailed to the wall. It was something I'd wanted to do for a long time, and I got it nailed down. I had hundreds of tanks to work with, so I was able to experiment a lot, and I got it perfected and started doing videos on that. And then that led to developing a whole approach to maintaining systems. Another friend of mine who had tried to get me to do YouTube 7 years before said, listen, you really need to do this. So I looked at it again, and by then it was monetized, and I understood it. I really hadn't before that. There are some of those original videos that are up on my channel. You can go back and look at them. They're pretty poor, but they're interesting and they're historic. Anyway, that was 5 years ago. And that's what I've been doing now for 5 years. In the meantime, closed that shop down, moved north, got a whole new business going with plants based on the natural tank and the YouTube channel, which is providing the market for it. We're now trying to expand to Amazon to get a bigger market share and be able to grow that business, moving into a new facility. And for the first time, I'm actually making money. I'm spending it all. Yeah, mostly on payroll. I've got, I think, 9 people on payroll, 3 of them in the shop. The others are on the YouTube or Discord or the book. So I'm spreading the wealth around, which is a joy for me to do because I really don't need the money. I wouldn't know what to do with it. If I get to the point where I've got $100,000, I'll buy a house because I'd like to have a house. And I might do that, but I might not. I'm comfortable basically with what I'm doing. So that's my story. Cheers.